Do you need a life audit? Well, let's start with what it actually is. In short, a life audit means you take an honest look at different areas of your life you feel stuck in and to figure out what exactly needs changing. It's actually quite interesting how many people aren't ever doing that. And the reason is they are so caught up, obviously, in their day-to-day that they are unaware of what's really going on. Or in other words, you can't change what you don't know about. Maybe they have a hunch or a faint dream of a different life, but it gets quickly overwritten by the next problem by being stuck in this firefighting mode. So for example, let's take a look at this client of mine. I changed the name, age, and some other details just to keep her confidential. But in general, this is her. Emma is a 32-year-old marketing manager at a mid-sized tech company. On paper, her job looks great, good salary, promising career path, and the chance to work with innovative projects. But lately, Emma has been feeling overwhelmed. Every day, she wakes up with a knot in her stomach, dreading the long list of tasks waiting for her. Her role has expanded far beyond what she originally signed up for, and she's not just managing campaigns anymore, she's expected to keep up with the latest digital marketing trends, lead a team, and constantly prove her worth. So Emma spends most of her day jumping from one urgent task to another, barely having the time to catch her breath. By the end of the day, she's mentally drained, and the fear that she's not good enough starts to creep in. So that's when it's going to hit her. Am I really qualified for this? What if they realize I'm not capable as they think? And as Emma tries to keep up with the ever-changing demands of her job, but feels like no matter how hard she works, it's never enough, the constant pressure is then taking its toll, and she's starting to feel burnt out. The passion she had once had for her job is fading, replaced by this persistent sense of stress and unfulfillment. Even though maybe in her evenings she tries to relax, but her mind just would not shut off. She lies in bed, staring at the ceiling, worrying about the workload on the next day, telling herself she needs to set better boundaries because it's getting too much. But the thought of what others might say just has her playing through different worst-case scenarios until she falls into this disturbed sleep late at night. At times, she dreams of quitting and finding something else that is less demanding and more enjoyable. And she even toyed with the idea of maybe becoming self-employed, but the fear of failure just holds her back. So she's thinking things like, can I even do that? And what if I'm not good enough? So as you can see, Emma is stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and exhaustion, feeling like she's always on the edge of falling behind, always playing catch up, and never really succeeding. At least that's in her felt experience. So if you are experiencing anything similar to Emma in this scenario, then it is time. It is overdue to do a life audit. Rather than forcing yourself through this and telling yourself, suck it up, buttercup, your feelings of unhappiness and unfulfillment and longing for change are actually alarm bells going off and trying to tell you that something needs changing. And in order to find out exactly what needs changing and how you want to be different, you can do a life audit. And here's how. So this might either be in different areas of your life at once or a deep dive into one of them. Today, I'm sharing with you the general one. And to do this, you can write down the different areas like career, money, health, personal growth, hobbies, romantic relationships, friendships, physical environment, so where you live. And then without overthinking, you give each area a current satisfaction score from 0 to 10, with 10 being it's picture book perfect and 0 being there is all the room for improvement. Literally go with the number that comes up first and trust your instinct. Nothing is wrong or right here. We don't want to be showing off perfectly. We want to know what needs changing. And once you have those numbers written down, feel free to add 1 or 2 reasons below and also notice how it makes you feel thinking about it all. And it's totally normal if you maybe feel triggered or even sad or disappointed at this point. This is kind of the realization that we want. And it's actually not rare that People are often like, oh my God, I never thought it would actually be this severe. Or it just comes as a surprise how they really feel about it. Or because for so long they have been avoiding and numbing and hiding those true thoughts and feelings because they were stuck in this constant cycle of firefighting. So then after writing down your reasons, take a deep breath first. Take a deep breath in and then get dreaming about the question, well, what would life be like at a 10 in all of these areas? And write down whatever comes up. Try not to be too logical here, or whether you might see it as possible right now or not. Just allow yourself, give yourself full permission to dream big about how your best life could feel and look like. So if we, for example, continue in this scenario with my client, I've been describing at the beginning with Emma, her career at a 10 would look like running her own social media business in which she can help fellow entrepreneurs to fall back in love with socials and feel more at ease with their content. She wants to be able to work at her own pace and with clients who are soul aligned. She sets her own boundaries, when and how she works, and she can't relate to Sunday scaries anymore, and begone are those dreadful mornings right before work. In fact, she gets up like excited that this gets to be her life and it's no longer a pipe dream. So in this part, we truly want your fucking pinch me, is this real kind of moment as you work through your different areas again. Now you can better see the difference or the gap between where you are now, like maybe you are at a 3 or at a 5, and where you would love to be, like your 10. Or maybe you're even saying like a 10 doesn't feel achievable to me right now. I want to be at a 7, so cool. How does a 7 look like for you? And this also allows you to ask this question, how do we get there? And also, what has stopped us from pursuing this life until now? Because chances are you didn't just make all of this up on the spot. Maybe some details like about your vision you made up here and there, but most of it you have already been dreaming about. It was already on your mind. But what kept you from taking the necessary action to make that change happen? Well, it is your current mindset and your thought patterns and your belief system. It is quite literally in how you perceive yourself. You might have heard the saying, your own biggest enemy, and that's true if you get stuck in things like negative self-talk, harsh self-criticism, and high self-doubt, is your mind. Like in the case of my client Emma, some recurring thoughts of her, as we already mentioned, are things like, what if I'm not good enough? Or am I really capable? Can I even do that? So instead of being her own biggest cheerleader to go for the things that she secretly longed for, she would keep on fostering a sense of self-doubt, and the pep talk turns into an intrinsic down talk. And there's a reason for that. In the past, Emma learned and ingrained so deeply that by constantly proving her worth through being a good girl, through having good marks at school, through doing a job well, she would get lots of appraisal. Versus when she made a mistake, she was scolded. If this or something similar is the environment in which you grow up, it's the one you feel most familiar in and continue to be in even as you grow older. And that also means habits like overworking and people-pleasing are second nature. And you might also experience the effects of this in the form of procrastination or a strong negativity bias and maybe like a victim mentality, where you feel like life is always happening to you and never for you, or that others have it always better and you always have it worse. So the first steps are to find out really what you are telling yourself automatically that keeps you stuck, and to also figure out where that is coming from. It's easier said than done, but it's not impossible. You can literally start with tracking your thoughts for a week or two, specifically in situations where you might feel triggered in a negative way and catch yourself procrastinating, or you might be indulging in a behavior that you actually don't want and you want to stop. But also in those areas where you did the life audit and you found out that you want to have change. So what is keeping you from putting that change into place? This will then give you some great insight into the excuses you're telling yourself and the choices you make that have you stay where you are and not break out of your own mold. When you then know those thoughts and you can ask yourself where they're coming from, and that then will indicate to you why they are occurring, why you are doing this. And you can also spend some time on thinking about this one particular area in your life again that you feel strongest about changing right now. It doesn't need to be all of them at once. I actually highly encourage you to just focus on one of them at once. then move on to the next one and listen what is coming up for you here as to why you are where you are right now and not experiencing this actually desired reality. And I also have a free quiz that you can actually take if you want to find out your main self-sabotage type and if you want to take it a step further. In my book, And There She Goes Her Way, which is here, I go into way more detail about how to do a life audit and what's next. And you can find the link to both and the quiz and the book in the description box below. But I will also dive deeper into the next part more in the upcoming episodes next week. Because next week we actually have another incredible guest on the pod, and we go deep into the topic of why having a crystal clear vision is so important. So this actually feeds very, very nicely into this episode, because when you know what you want to change, the other episode into how to create that crystal clear vision will help you to get very, very, very specific in how your life at 10 looks like. For the next weeks, until we see each other again, find some time to do the life audit and create some more awareness around your own thoughts and patterns. And feel free, if you want to and if you feel happy to do so, to just share any findings with me on Instagram via direct message, or also email, and I can also help you to deepen your self-discovery. And with that, if you like the episode, do leave a like and a review wherever you're listening, because I always love to hear from you. And with that, I love and leave you, and I see you in the next episode.